There are so many good things about this build, so let's quickly run through the major benefits that you are going to have right in here. First and foremost, you're going to have damage. This damage is going to be AoE damage as well. You see, this build relies on the usage of mainly one core item that it is going to make a amazing synergy with a couple of the items that we have right in here, but most importantly with the skills that we are going to be choosing for our character, and that is going to be ordnance damage and the usage of grenades. The grenades that you see me using right in here, they deal an insane amount of damage, and that's AoE damage that it doesn't matter where the enemy is, you're always going to be dealing damage and killing things, even though that you do not know where or how or when they are, because they are homing grenades that are going to track the enemy from a very long distances. So the damage and the AoE damage in here, it's just amazing. You're also going to have lots of survivability. This survivability is going to be coming because you're going to be healing, not only because natively, passively, not only because of one of the items that we are using, but also you're going to be regenerating your shields back and forth, like you can see right in here, and it just gives you so much survivability. Not only that, but that survivability is also going to be coming from those situations where you're playing alone and you want to get that one last shot to kill the enemy, but oh boy, you can't find the enemy. Like, the enemies are hidden away from like something and you're downed, and you know that there's an enemy in there, but you can't find them. Well, the grenades are going to be looking out for them, and if they down you, you're going to be immediately resurrected, because the grenades are always going to be at all times be the killing things, no matter where they are. And then finally, flexibility. To some point, it is going to it's so powerful. This is so busted and so broken that to some extent having weapons becomes like something redundant, because you're basically have to do nothing. Like, as you can see right in here, I could just throw the grenades, sit in here, and it's going to kill everything in my way. I don't really have to do anything at all, and the grenades are going to be doing everything for you. But because of that, you're also going to, if you decide to use your weapons, you can use whichever weapons you want to use, however you want to use them, and it is going to be fun. You're not required, you're not locked behind a specific very overpowered gun, and if you want to be using like a very overpowered gun, that's the thing. If you find something like a gun that's very broken and powerful, on top of this, you're godlike, you become a god. So let's talk about the itemization first that we're using right in here. Fortunately enough, there's only 3 bosses that you're going to be farming to get the items that we're going to be using right in here. Unfortunately, this being like the start of your endgame build, like a level 50 build, there is a little bit more of farming involved with two of the items, and one of them you're going to hate it. So the first thing that we are going to be needing is going to be the fireworks. Everyone is already familiar with the fireworks because it's one of the most powerful and broken shields in the entirety of the game. You get this right in here from the splash zone by farming this boss fight right in here. Now, because of the skills and the synergies and how we have built everything right in here, this is a boss that you can kill in like 10 seconds. So if you have efficient farming and you're up for it, then do not settle with the first level 50 shields that you get. My advice is that you get one that says 15% resistance to Cryo. And the reason for that being is that the missiles that you're going to be shooting with this shield, which basically what it does is that every time that you kill something, this spawns missiles that looks for the enemy. Also, every time that they break a segment of the armor, you have 3 segments right in here, you're also going to be having 3 homing missiles as well that are going to be chasing the enemy. But this is going to be dependent on the damage type that you get from that resistance. This is Cryo, and this is going to make synergy with the skills that we're going to be talking about in a little while. And then we're going to be needing one of the most annoying items in here. And the farming in here, it's a little bit slow because the kill times can go up to 1 to 2 minutes because you have to kill the mobs that spawn right in here first. So it's in the prospects, the Reaper drill side, This is where you have to farm for this item, and unfortunately as well, this is the core item that we have right in here. So it's the Gooming Swarm. Have in mind that it's 8 seconds cooldown, and this is an ordnance. Essentially, what this does is creates those homing missiles that you see right in there, floating around and killing things, and these are going to be always chasing the enemy, and whenever they kill the enemies are going to be spawning more missiles from your shields, and that is going to be enough for it to clear entire mob situations without you having to lift a single finger. The problem with this is that, like I said, it's going to take quite some time for you to finally get it. And just to give you an idea, let's briefly talk about how farming works, because you can actually get more items out of this right in here while you are farming. But you're going to get 3 major items right in here from this guy. Here you're going to be fighting Sydney Pointy Legs. And the bosses in this game have like a abysmal chance of dropping you general legendary items, but each boss has 3 items that they have a higher chance of dropping, and that is what we're farming right in here. So from this boss you can get the Swarm, which is the grenade ordnance that we're using right in here, a disc jockey, which is a heavy weapon ordnance as well, and then finally we can get the Noisy Cricket, which is a weapon that we can by all means be using with this build. Talk about this a little bit later on. But that is the problem, that at least in my personal experience, I have gotten, it depends on your RNG as well, but in average, every 10 to 15 kills, I managed to get one of these 3 items. And before I was able to get my grenade, you can see that I have 1 Noisy Cricket right in here, 1 Noisy Cricket, 1 Noisy Cricket, and then 1 Noisy Cricket, until I finally was able to get my Booming Swarm. Meaning that, I crap you not, I think that I killed this guy for about 100 times before I I got my Booming Swarm, and that being 1 to 2 minutes kills, then yeah, it takes quite some time of farming this guy, so that's the downside about this. Now once you have managed to secure all of that, this is not mandatory, but this is the one that I like to use because I'd like to have extra survivability. Then again, this is very much not needed, but it's an extra little something. If you go right in here, you will find the Horus boss fight. This is very easy to farm. You can kill this guy in like no time, and this guy is going to give you the actual medkit or rep kit that I'm using, which is the Pacemaker. And what I like about this guy is that it regenerates your health passively, and does so much faster whenever your health is low. Now granted, I did mention that you're going to be getting your shields back, but whenever those tricky situations that you don't, then this is very useful. So here you have 3 layers of protection actually. First, the shields that are going to be regenerating, you have the faster regeneration time from this Pacemaker, and then finally, if the enemy does manages to down you, your homing missiles are always going to be looking for enemies and they are going to automatically revive you. That is why this build is so powerful. Now while I was doing my farming, which was a great deal of farming mind you, that is when I was getting the actual accessories that I have for the build, and I do not use like anything specific. All you have to have in mind right in here is that this is a world loot. I got this from Manji enemies while I was just leveling up, fortunately enough on level 49, so I haven't had the necessity to change it. But this has plus 30% status effect application chance. This is going to be very important in a little while, and that's what you should be focusing on. Even if it's like purple or blue, does not matter. The one that gives you the most 30%, the most status effect application chance, that's the ones that you should be looking out for. I didn't get anyone with the raw status effect chance for my enhancement right in here, but I do so for my gun, which is also very useful. And yeah, but ideally you should be looking for raw status effect chance. Now that is settled, let's talk about the weapons that you can use with this build. You can virtually, like I told you, use any type of weapon that you would like to use with this build. especially if you want to be using one of the most powerful weapons and broken and overpowered weapons in the entirety of the game, the superconducting plasma coil. You can see this thing has just an insane amount of DPS, and I believe that this is not even one of the most powerful drops that you can get. You can farm this with the final boss of the game, but that is irrelevant. Like, you can use whichever weapon that you would like to use, and fortunately enough, while we're farming for the previous items that I was telling you about, you can get this very powerful shotgun from the splash zone. You can get the noisy cricket from the drill site, and then you can get Econ's Dream from Horus. This is actually very powerful, and this makes it an amazing synergy for the build. As a matter of fact, you will see that I have 2 of them because I got 2 of these guys before I actually managed to get the pacemaker. But this, it says that it has fire damage, but it also has cryo damage, and cryo damage is going to be very important for us. So if you want to be using any of these 3 legendary weapons as a base before you start getting like something that you really like for example, I have my looming truck. I have not have the chance to find where did I actually get this guy, but this is my favorite sniper rifle in the game, and this was a world drop for me as well. I believe that I got it from a vending machine. If not, I believe that I got something from a vending machine. But yeah, this is the desired weapon that I will be using. As a matter of fact, all throughout the gameplay you will see that this is the guy that I will be using, but this is amazing AoE damage. This is also very powerful AoE damage. The noisy cricket might not be like much DPS, but it's an amazing synergy with this build, because whenever things are flying around you, this guy is going to deal more AoE damage. That it makes an amazing synergy for the build, and this just more cryo status effect application chance. So while you're farming for the main items, you can also get very powerful weapons that are going to synergize well with the build. And then finally, let's actually talk about the final established build and the synergies that I was telling you about. The most important thing that you focus as you're leveling up, and the main thing that you should be getting, is increasing the ordnance damage. This is going to increase your ordnance damage. This is also going to make a synergy that whenever you deal ordnance damage, there's a chance to apply cryo status effect and deal cryo damage. These 2 guys are just going to be so important. They are the living blood of this build, because these 2 guys combined, these are the ones that are going to make sure that your grenades are always dealing cryo damage. As well with the ancient ways. Now, there's another synergy right in here, that every time that you kill something, Ammon is going to restore ordnance cooldown. The cooldown of our grenades is already amazing because they have 8 seconds, but reducing that much as we can, that means that we can be spamming them over and over and over and over again. Now the next synergy is going to be the one that you have right in here. So the Icy Rage. Every time that you kill an enemy with cryo damage, and remember that our ordnance actually does have cryo damage, it's going to give you cryo affinity. The cryo affinity is going to increase your gun damage, but that is not why we want this thing for. We want this thing for because it's going to give us Winter's Kiss, and every time that you deal ordnance damage, you're going to consume one of these cryo affinity that you're getting right in here, and it's going to cost for more AoE, making the grenades that much more powerful. And that is why you will see some of these explosions underground. They deal an insane amount of damage, and this is just more AoE that is going to be killing things faster. Now there's going to be a synergy with this one right in here, because the elemental shot that you're going to be doing with your grenades, essentially you're just enhancing your grenades right in here. It can ricochet, but also the survivability that I was telling you about is the primal surge, that because whenever you deal a status effect, you have a chance to restore not only your shield but your ammo as well. And you having so much shield because of some of the synergies that we're going to have right in here in a while, then that gives you so much survivability. Now at that time, once you manage to pick all of these guys right in here, it's also very important that you take the Wrapp of Nature, because this is going to increase the status effect application chance and the cryo effectiveness. This is very, very important because remember, we have the status effect application chance, which is going to cause for more AoE damage with the Winter's Kiss, and is also going to give us more chance of getting the primal surge to increase our shields. Have in mind as well that every time that the enemy breaks your shield, it is in your best interest for the enemy to be breaking your shields, because that is going to be causing for more frost homing missiles that are going to be dealing more cryo damage to explode around you. But because of this, you're going to get it back. That means that with the survivability, you get more DPS as well. That is an amazing synergy. Now, that being said, there's 2 routes. At that point, you're going to be like level 40-ish, and you get the chance, you have enough points to invest into this right in here, which is the Ballistic Bulwark. This is going to give you more survivability, because every time that you deal ordnance damage, you're going to get overshield. However, these 2 guys right in here don't do anything. It would be wasted points for you to finally get the Ballistic Bulwark. Yes, you're going to get more survivability, but I don't think that the investment in here is as important. So in the end, you can be taking these 2 guys right in here that are very, very powerful. The Impetus. Every time that you kill things, you increase your shield regeneration rate. And what do you know? Because your shield regeneration rate is going to give you more DPS, because every time that they break your shield, you home more missiles. Alongside that, you can have the Heavy Plate, which is going to increase your maximum shield capacity and your maximum overshield capacity. We're not interested in the overshield right in here, but having more shields means more survivability, and means that the enemy has to struggle a little bit more to down us, but also it means that we can deal more DPS because of the other synergies that we have right in here with the build. And so essentially the gist of everything with this build is that you're going to be throwing your grenades, as you see me doing right in here, to kill things like you have no idea. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to lift a finger, you're always going to be killing things. I do have to say that it is not enough burst DPS to kill a boss. If you're struggling with a boss, one of those one-shotting bosses, or you're struggling on the endgame, before you actually start getting the extra little things that are going to increase your raw stats of everything, it's amazing, because you can just hide behind something. Something that I didn't mention is that you also have your skills. Like, you can lift your shield, that is going to give you more survivability, but also we have one skill right in here, the Eternal Winter, that it is going to restore action skill duration. And as you can see right in here, this single thing right in here, because of the amount of cryo status effectiveness that we have in everything, you can just spam this thing against a boss, spam grenades and you skill, grenades and skill, grenade and skill. You don't actually need any kind of gun to actually fight things. This is one of the most overpowered and broken builds that I've come up with, and it's just so amazing because of the versatility that, yes, like I mentioned, things are going to die so fast, and you don't have to do anything. But it's also very nice not having to worry about using the most overpowered weapon and meta weapon in the game, because you don't need to. Like, that's your choice. Here, you can be using the weapon that you like to use. I like sniper rifles, for example. They're not amazing for clearing AoE, but I feel fun while using them, because I know that I can take a couple of shots here, and as you will see all throughout the gameplay of this video, and feel amazing with my sniper rifle. And I know that I'm not going to be taking like 50 years to kill a mob of enemies, because my grenades are going to be doing that for me. So I'm just enjoying the ride in here. If you like the content, I like and super appreciate it. Not only the gorgeous and beautiful person, you're in the gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, you're in Discord. How do you feel? Goodbye.